Welcome to Formula World. I'm your host Dylan Shelley, and here's what's on this episode. First up on Formula World, Leclerc. Seb makes less mistakes than me. Ferrari driver Charles Leclerc has outwardly admitted he isn't a fan of politics, and at the same time gives his justification for why Ferrari favour his teammate Sebastian Vettel. I just do my job on the circuit and I am satisfied with that myself. I certainly feel at ease with Ferrari. I don't like political games at all. In fact, I hate that political act. That is not my style. I understand there must be a certain hierarchy in a team like Ferrari. It is also clear to me that Seb is the favourite within the team because of his incredible experience. I must continue to do my job well by making fewer mistakes on the job. Seb simply makes fewer mistakes than I do. F1 will be 50% electric. With the impending regulation changes for the future of F1 still in limbo, Mercedes boss Toto Wolff is fairly confident that the current engine spec will remain largely unchanged. However, Wolff believes that by around 2024, that F1 cars will be running with 50% electric power. I believe that the next generation of power units will certainly have more electric and more hybrid components. There is no doubt about this, because in terms of performance alone, electrical and renewable energies will become stronger every year. It is therefore quite natural that there will be a switch from the classic combustion engine to more hybrid components. Today they make up just under 20% of the power unit. In the next generation it will be 50%. At any rate, that's what I suspect. Leave F1 rules alone. On the topic of regulation changes, Toto Wolff also shared his thoughts on his approach to making the field more evenly matched. The standard reaction in the past, when a team or the big three teams went off with the championship, is that we change the rules, because you believe that by changing the rules, others can catch up. I think it is exactly the other way around, and that is contrary to intuition, that the performance eventually comes naturally to each other with stability. Be stable, and I think if we left the chassis rules alone, more teams would be closer together. The only way to make the teams closer is to leave the rules alone. Every time you change the rules, the big teams will drive away with more resources. F1 easier than Go Karting? Haas driver Romain Grosjean is the latest driver to add his thoughts to the mix about the relative ease of driving current F1 races. And to further strengthen his point, Grosjean made a comparison to a recent karting race he had. I recently ran a go-kart race with friends, 125cc with gear shift, and I was more tired than after a Formula 1 Grand Prix. Why? Because you are pushing all the time and you don't have to save fuel. Today in F1 we need to save fuel. Next and most important, we have to look after the tyres all the time. It feels like we are driving at 50% of the car's capacity. Therefore, it is not that difficult. If the race was like qualifying and we could squeeze the car the same way every lap, our necks would be totally fucked in the end. We would be tired and our focus would disappear. Fast feed! FIA President Jean Todt has spoken out on the delay to announcing the 2021 regulations, saying it is better to work together for another 3 to 4 months to achieve a good result than to make a decision now. Fernando Alonso says he watches all the F1 races and said sometimes it's fun and in others I am bored. He also called his most recent win at Le Mans lucky and said we were not as quick as car number 7 and definitely we didn't deserve to win on track. Ferrari team boss Matteo Binotto admits it'll take 2 or 3 upgrades before we're able to challenge Mercedes everywhere. And he believes that this has come down to the team having misjudged the weaknesses and limitations of our package. Toro Rosso team boss Franz Tost has said the current level of drivers from the fitness side is the highest I've ever seen in Formula 1. And he also believes that Daniel Kvyat's time at Ferrari served him well, stating, "I think he learned a lot there." McLaren driver Carlos Sainz has come out saying he hopes F1 becomes a bit more driver dependent and not machine dependent. And Lewis Hamilton stated, "I take a lot of pride in my work and particularly my track record of not making mistakes." Formula World fans react. Do you think F1 favours Mercedes? This is what I asked on the previous episode and the results are in. And a massive 75% of you do believe that F1 favours Mercedes, while 25% of you do not think that's the case. Will F1 become fully electric? Be sure to vote in the poll and let me know what you think in the comments. And a special thanks to Blaze Hope for becoming a member and helping support the show. And if you like this video, feel free to subscribe and check out my others for all the latest in the world of Formula 1.